Okay, well, Bob mentioned that at the last meeting about fitting up there on the 80-acre parcel of the sewer district's property. And with all due respect, I just don't think spending $48,000 to thin 80 acres up there is a viable request or option. It's just, there's no need to thin the whole 80 acres for one thing. And I looked through the silvicultural plan that was done 2 years ago, and it doesn't call for thinning. It doesn't call for that in there, and it does what it does call for is planting more trees, because there's areas in there that are non-stocked, and it would benefit. It says in there in the next 5 to 10 years they recommend planting some areas, planting trees, and doing some thinning in areas, but nowhere does it say, request spending that kind of money thinning on the 80 acres. So I just kind of took exception to that, and I just wanted to bring that to the board. And I'm familiar with the property. I worked on the first silvicultural plan years ago, so I am familiar with what's going on out there, and I just believe that a person should follow the silvicultural plan that was put together and accepted by the DEQ, and that's just my feelings on that.
How does that relate into actual work that would need to be done? Would be just like cutting pathways between the important aspects of
I
what's
think
going on out there?
that's what I would suggest, what's important to Bob, where he's got to get around to different areas or whatever, then, a person can identify those areas and thin and open up those areas so he can get around easier, but not the whole 80 acres.
I think what we were trying to do is it's probably a very general term. We want to follow the silvicultural plan with what we do. I don't know if you want to add to that, Bob, but we need to, whatever we do, we have to follow the plan. We've given us that's what was approved.
Have to stick to that silvicultural plan all the way, whether it's planting more trees or clearing things. That is an approved thing as a part of our permit.
Sure, I understand that. What kind of tasks are we looking at right now to maintain that?
I don't know, I hadn't thought about it, so we just brought it up here, so we need to take a look at our silvicultural plan.
Well, most of it because when we go to maintain the sprinklers or turn them on, turn the drain valves on or open it up in the wintertime, we're crawling under bushes trying to get to it. It's so thick we can't even walk to it. Before, when it was first put in, you just walked up and do it. You knew where everything was. Here we've got pink flags, it's orange, green spray paint on poles, trying to figure out and find it through all the
so
rubbish.
basically pathways
Right.
go to all the
Deep pathways, and then some of the trees are, some of the vegetation is just swallowing up these spray heads, even if they're 8 feet in the air.
I understand that, but I just...
So it's more of a clearing.
Yes.
It's more of a clearing than
Yes.
thinning of 80 acres. I was
Clearing-
my understanding before is not clearing 80 acres.
Right.
Thinning 80 acres.
Right.
It was clearing out
I just use because we have 80 acres.
defined areas.
That's why when we said clearing it means we have 80 acres. How are we going to follow the silvicultural plan to do what we need to do to maintain it and yet follow the plan? So that's just the intent.
Keeping the ground cover at a reasonable level. I'm not sure how it's defined in our report. I take a look at it, but it's something that we mandated to do as well. Because the permit is based, the reuse permit is based on an even spread of the wastewater over its designated sprinkler rate. So if you get blocked off over this side, whole side blocked off, and like 3/4 of it's getting irrigated, we're not following the plan.
Kind of like a pre-commercial thinning type of thing. or something
Yeah, but
like
it's
that.
not so much thinning the trees.
I know, but I'm just saying,
Yeah,
you're doing something.
Yeah, we're talking the understory here, basically, and the things that we're talking about clearing, and the understory does need to be managed, so.
Yeah, I guess just, Bob mentioned, get a cost at $600 an acre times 80 acres, and that's $48,000. That was the cost for thinning 80 acres.
Right, well, we need to come up with more exact figure. That was just a ballpark thing, and we need to maybe get more than one quote too.
Well, that handling land is your business. Is there any marketable timber on it?
Yeah, there is, but really that wasn't mentioned in the silvicultural plan. They were just dealing with the application area, which is only 20 acres. There's 60 acres that aren't even under application.
I assume we were just talking brush clearing. That's what I said.
It's kind of, whatever we have to do, we have to follow the silviculture.